Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Rocco, shocked and thrilled, reunites with his mother. In shock, Sasha stood in Maxie's bathroom, staring at her positive pregnancy test. She couldn't believe it just took one time, considering she hadn't been with anyone since Brando died more than 2 years earlier. "I don't know if I can do this," she said. Maxie told Sasha that she had a support system that would be available to her. James was astonished to see a blonde woman wearing scrubs and a sweatshirt approach through the front door. Lulu was equally astonished to see James. He asked who she was, and she asked the same thing. "Who are you and what are you doing in my house?" she was curious about. "This is not your house." "This is my house," James explained. Lulu and James continued to argue over who lived there until James exclaimed, "Mom!" Stranger danger. Maxie and Sasha emerged from the restroom, holding baseball bats, but Lulu had already left, and James was sitting on the couch, eating cookies. Maxie admonished James for spreading false information, but James persisted that a foreign lady was in the living room. Maxie was astonished to discover that the door had been unlocked. Maxie walked outdoors and discovered that the key under the frog statue was missing. James insisted he had not taken it. Maxie and Spinelli inquired further about their mystery guest after Sasha had left. Spinelli claimed he could solve the issue using an app linked to cameras he set near the front door. When Spinelli used the app, they noticed Lulu outside but couldn't see her face since she was wearing a hoodie. As Maxie and Spinelli considered calling the cops, James dug through old photo albums and revealed that the mystery lady was in one of the photos. Maxie was astonished when he showed her a picture of Lulu. Lucky was horrified to find that Cyrus had spent time at Turning Wood with Lulu. The administrator stated that he believed Cyrus was authorized to act on behalf of the family. "Like hell he does," Lucky replied. Elizabeth attempted to calm Lucky down and be rational. As Lucky asked to see Turning Wood's security footage, an orderly called Cyrus to inform him that Lulu had fled. When the administrator responded that seeing the videotape would have to wait until the morning, Lucky threatened to contact the cops. Elizabeth finally persuaded Lucky to go, but they proceeded directly to the Port Charles Grill to meet Cyrus. He stated he didn't know where Lulu was. Lucky informed Cyrus that he would not be permitted to visit Lulu again, which irritated Cyrus. He shoved it in Lucky's face, saying he wasn't around enough to decide who was family. "Spend more than a month with your own child, and then we'll discuss family," Cyrus told me. After Cyrus had left, Lucky received the Turning Wood surveillance footage on his phone. Lucky and Elizabeth couldn't believe their eyes as they watched Lulu roam about the premises. Lois and Olivia were thrilled to learn that Gio would be performing the national anthem at the PCU Landview football game. Chase and Brooklyn walked in and hurriedly ran up the stairs, presumably to finish a movie. Olivia reminded Lois that she'd soon be a grandmother. Olivia turned the conversation to Dante and the children. Lois was reminded about how unpredictable life can be. In the bedroom, Brooklyn and Chase embarked on their baby-making project. Brooklyn's face turned gloomy when Chase expressed his excitement about expecting their first child together. Outside, Gio was practicing his violin when Lulu approached. Gio informed Lulu that he resided on the Q estate, which astonished her. When Gio mentioned Lois, Lulu was surprised to learn she was in Port Charles. "I believed she resided in Bensonhurst." "When did she arrive here?" Gio informed her that Lois had been there since previous year. Lulu was unnerved by the news and excused herself before leaving away. She entered the Quartermain living room. Rocco went in shortly after, astounded to see his mother standing there. Lulu was equally surprised to learn that her kid had grown into a teenager. In court, a frantic Christina insisted that she was not to blame for the baby's death. Rick didn't care and continued to interrogate Christina, asking whether protecting Sunny was more important to her than protecting Molly's child. "She was my child," Christina insisted, as Molly watched in terror. Rick didn't give up. "You are the reason that Irene Davis Ashford is dead," the man stated. Alexis got up and urged her ex-husband to stop. "That is enough, Rick. Leave her alone, Alexis commanded. The judge called the hearing to order as Alexis presented a legal case for why Rick was badgering the witness. Alexis was advised that she had no authority in this matter. The judge directed the bailiff to arrest Alexis if she did not sit down, so Sunny stood up and walked her out so she would not end up in jail. Rick dismissed Christina from the stand, and the court declared a recess. Ava protested with Rick because he made Christina appear sympathetic. He felt the jury perceived Christina as temperamental and reckless. Dante cradled Christina in his arms as she sobbed, stating she had blown it. Meanwhile, Molly worried Christina would never forgive herself if her testimony resulted in Ava's acquittal. Molly assured Christina that Alexis would drive her home, but Christina refused to go. After recess, Rick summoned Natalia to the stand and inquired about her vehicle accident. He played the 911 conversation where Natalia identified Christina as the second driver. Rick requested Natalia to explain Christina's emotional state. Natalia stated that Christina was shaken, but rational. Natalia admitted to being the cause of the accident when Rick asked her. Natalia lied, stating she had read a text and drifted into oncoming traffic. She stated Blaze texted her and she felt compelled to answer. Natalia did not want emergency assistance because everyone was safe. Rick summoned Molly to the stand next. He asked Molly about Christina's reaction when she received Ava's subpoena. Molly stated that Christina planned to refuse to comply since she did not want to incriminate Sunny in anything criminal. She said she was going to get Ava to drop the subpoena. She didn't explicitly say she was going to confront her, Molly said of her sister. Rick convinced Molly that Christina sought out Ava and confronted her while she was 38 weeks pregnant in order to protect her father. When Ava entered the stand, she stated that Christina has always been extremely protective of Sunny. Ava stated that Christina did not beg her to lift the subpoena. Instead, she demanded it, and Ava refused. Ava informed the jury that an irate Christina threatened to bring out alleged evil actions Ava had done in the past. I was upset, naturally, but I didn't wish Christina or her baby any harm, Ava said. Ava admitted that she grasped Christina's shoulder as she rushed by her. Christina pulled away from me. She lost her equilibrium and tripped. She slammed through the glass after falling against it. It was horrific, Ava said. Ava stated that she hurriedly closed the blinds and witnessed Christina trip over John Kate's duffel bag. I moved the bag to the other room and placed a pair of shoes near the window, Ava told me. When Rick inquired if Ava intended to hurt Christina or the baby, she replied genuinely, I would never do anything to harm a child. My own daughter was cruelly killed, and I would never wish the grief of losing a child on anybody else. She urged Michael to reconcile with his family and return Avery to Sunny. When Sabrina became pregnant, Michael was thrilled to be a father, but he was disappointed to hear that the baby was actually Carlos Rivera's. She left town with Carlos, and Michael and Sunny went to Puerto Rico to bring her home. But Michael's pleasure with her and their infant Teddy was shattered when Sabrina was murdered by Paul Hornsby, and he allowed the baby to be reared by Carlos' brother, Joe Rivera. Michael was further devastated when Morgan was murdered in a car explosion. Michael grew close to Nellie Hayes, but they split up when it was discovered that she was Carly's adopted sister and was out for vengeance. After a while, he gave her another chance, and things appeared promising for the couple until she announced her pregnancy. But Michael soon realized that Nellie was still trying to get Carly out of her life and was willing to go to any length to do this. Working with Officer Harrison Chase to capture Nellie's confession that she had arranged up Carly's arrest and imprisonment in Ferncliff, Michael obtained the necessary proof but then crashed their car. Nellie abandoned Michael for dead, and when Sunny rescued him and took him to the hospital, she presented him with the baby she had just given birth to, which had perished. Michael was distraught, unaware that Nellie had bumped into Brad Cooper and replaced her living infant with Wiley, his adopted son who had died unexpectedly. While Nellie was in prison, Michael attended a grief support group at the hospital, where he met and befriended Willow Tate, Wiley's birth mother. He also lent Christina money, which he subsequently regretted after discovering she was using it to further her involvement in Dawn of Day, a hazardous cult. Michael fell for Sasha Gilmore, but their romance was cut short when it was discovered that she had been lying about being Nina's long-lost daughter. He eventually forgave Sasha, and the two confessed their love for each other. Then Michael's world was thrown upside down once more when the baby switch was disclosed and he discovered that Wiley was truly his son. Adjusting to raising the boy at the Quartermaine house grew even more difficult when Nellie was released on parole and stated she would battle for custody of their son. Michael hired Diane to assist him win the custody battle, and when he was told that marrying Sasha wouldn't help due of her questionable background, he married Willow instead. Despite Nellie's decision to marry Julian to compete, Michael and Willow were granted custody of Wiley. Nellie attempted to kidnap her son, but Michael apprehended her and rescued Wiley while Carly witnessed Nellie fall off a cliff. Back home and protected with his son, Michael found himself pulled to Willow despite their plan. After discovering that Chase and Sasha had lied about having sex to bring them together, Michael and Willow reconsidered and signed annulment papers, though he allowed her to stay in the Quartermaine gatehouse so she could be close by. Michael opted not to rejoin with Sasha since he had fallen in love with Willow, and they eventually confessed their feelings to each other. Michael had decided to keep Nina out of Wiley's life after she told him she was his grandmother, but when Jax discovered him with Willow, he used it as leverage to force Michael to let Nina visit. Then Michael agreed with Willow that she should marry Chase because he was dying. So, after he made it through, the couple had to sneak around behind him. Naturally, Chase caught them together, and things became heated before he and Willow agreed to part ways amicably. Michael was also concerned about Austin Holt's attempts to claim his half of the Quartermaine riches, but he let Chase give Austin the proof he discovered in the house. Michael and Willow moved into the gatehouse together, but when he tried to propose, she said she wasn't ready for marriage. She was particularly outraged when he surreptitiously took action to hold Nina accountable for her crimes against his family. Sonny attempted to make amends, but Michael was unable to forgive his father for choosing Nina, and he eventually cut him out of his life. When Nina sued for Wiley's visitation rights, Michael arranged for Smoltz, the reporter he had previously punched out, to publish a tell-all about all of her dirty laundry. He also planned an ELQ/Aurora Media merger with Drew Kane to compel Valentine Cassadine to leave the family firm. As the visitation hearing began, Michael was still unhappy at Sonny for siding with Nina, and he was content to let Diane tear into them both on the stand during testimony. Even after Scott brought up his own criminal background, Michael was desperate to keep Nina away from Wiley. Finally, the judge ruled in his favor, and Michael felt vindicated. It was also discovered that Sonny's new employee, Dex, was covertly working for Michael to bring down his father. While Ned and Valentine worked together to prevent the ELQ/Aurora merger, Michael was relieved to find that Willow was pregnant. He was unaware that she was not providing him with whole information. Michael was heartbroken when Willow eventually admitted she had leukemia and had waited to take treatment until their baby was safe, but he swore to support her nonetheless. Michael proposed, and she joyfully accepted. He was startled when Drew revealed Nina was Willow's birth mother, and he struggled to forgive Carly for keeping that information hidden. When Willow nearly died during childbirth, Michael's pleadings for her to return to him saved her from entering the light. The couple named their baby daughter Amelia Grace. As Michael and Willow prepared their wedding, he was surprised to see that Dex and Jocelyn were romantically linked. At Willow's request, he allowed Sonny to attend the ceremony but not Nina. Following the lovely wedding, Carly was detained by the SEC for insider trading, spoiling the celebration. Michael told a troubled Willow about his plot to bring down Sonny, and she convinced him not to utilize the information he and Dex had gathered. Joss scolded Michael of endangering Dex's life by failing to bring Sonny down, but he remained steadfast. He also confessed to Carly and handed her the flash drive containing the proof, which she destroyed. Following Willow's successful bone marrow transplant, Michael brought her home to heal, and they gradually resumed their lives together. Despite his reservations about Nina, Michael had a heart-to-heart with Sonny in an attempt to reconcile with his father. He even attended Sonny and Nina's wedding, only to discover that Nina was the one who turned Carly and Drew over to the SEC. After obtaining Martin Gray to confirm it, Michael played Nina his video of the discussion and warned her he'd only stay quiet if she agreed to stay away from Willow. Drew was released from prison early because he wanted to move on from the whole situation, so Michael did not tell him about Nina. Drew then announced his intention to unite Aurora and ELQ again, which naturally irritated Ned because they did business behind his back. When Nina revealed to Michael that Ned was blackmailing her with her secret in order to obtain information about Aurora that he might use, Michael agreed to provide her with some fabricated material to send along. On New Year's Eve, Lois disclosed Nina's secret, and Michael's 2024 got off to a bumpy start when Willow found he'd known for a long time and had used the information to force Nina to stay away from her and Wiley. Brooklyn Quartermain has been carrying a secret for years that has weighed heavily on her. Her strong-willed, confident persona conceals a fragile side that is rarely seen even by those closest to her. After a heated confrontation with Chase in which he accuses her of concealing something essential, Brooklyn decides it's time to come clean. The atmosphere is intimate, a quiet evening at the Quartermain mansion, with the distant buzz of a busy family but no one to disturb them. Chase, already skeptical after overhearing a portion of Brooklyn and Tracy's angry chat, confronts her and demands the truth. Brooklyn asks Chase, "Do you want honesty?" "Fine. But I need you to really listen, because once I tell you, there's no turning back." She begins with a trembling voice. She describes how, in her early 20s, she became pregnant during a brief engagement. Her family, notably her grandmother Tracy, argued that having a kid outside of marriage would ruin the Quartermain name. The pressure was intense, and with no support system, Brooklyn felt she had no choice except to place the baby for adoption. Brooklyn admitted, "I wasn't ready to be a mother. They made it plain that keeping the baby was not an option. I believed I was doing the right thing, but not a day goes by that I don't wonder where they are, whether they're okay, and if they despise me." Chase is startled, his emotions whirling with amazement, empathy, and anger, not at Brooklyn, but at the family structures that compelled her to make such a decision. Act 2, the fallout. Chase takes time to ponder his revelation. While he admires Brooklyn's candor, he struggles to reconcile this secret with the lady he knows. Their already tenuous relationship will be put to the test again. Chase subsequently said, "Brooke, it's not about what you did back then, it's about why you didn't trust me enough to tell me earlier. I understand your family might be overpowering, but I'm not them. I am here for you." Meanwhile, word of Brooklyn's confession spreads among the Quartermains, igniting a firestorm. Tracy tries to play down the situation, but Ned, Brooklyn's father, is horrified to discover the truth. He approaches her, hurt and sorry for the part his family played in her decision. Ned says, "Brooklyn, I failed you. As your father, I should have been your safe haven, but instead I let the family to control your life. I'm very sorry." Brooklyn believes it is time to take control of her story. With Chase's hesitant backing, she begins looking for her child, hoping to guarantee they are happy. Act 3, the journey to healing. The quest for the child entails additional turmoil and suffering. Brooklyn realizes that the child has been adopted by a loving family, but contacting them is difficult. The adoptive parents are first skeptical, suspecting Brooklyn's motives. Brooklyn, pleading, "I don't want to disrupt their life or separate them from you. I just need to know they are okay. That I didn't ruin their lives before they even started." Parallel to this, Chase and Brooklyn's bond develops stronger as they travel together. Chase demonstrates what unconditional support looks like, and Brooklyn learns to trust and rely on him. Climax and resolution. Brooklyn eventually has a chance to meet with her child, who is now a teenager and has conflicting feelings about the situation. The meeting is raw and emotional, with no simple answers, but it is a step toward closure for Brooklyn. The incident also strengthens her friendship with Chase. His steady presence demonstrates to her that she is capable of moving beyond her previous mistakes and regrets. Chase tells Brooklyn, "You no longer need to face your battles alone. I'm here for everything, good, horrible, and in between." The narrative finishes with Brooklyn finding solace in knowing her child is happy and loved. Though she does not become a part of their lives, she feels a weight lifted, finally free to live genuinely and totally with Chase by her side. Michael Corinthos' unexpected death sends shockwaves through Port Charles, causing a ripple effect that changes the lives of those closest to him. His sad, unexpected, and mysterious death unleashes a whirlwind of grief, remorse, and buried emotions, setting off an explosive domino effect that changes relationships and alliances throughout the canvas. A newly formed love triangle involving Jason Morgan, Willow Tate, and Sasha Gilmore is at the center of the upheaval as they attempt to navigate their grief while confronted with unspoken wants and unsolved history. The tragedy. Michael's death was unexpected and devastating. The Corinthos family is reeling from a freak accident which could have been the product of foul play. For Willow, his wife and partner, the loss is terrible. Willow feels as if her entire world has fallen after they built a beautiful home together, raised Wiley as their son, and overcome numerous hurdles. Sasha, Michael's ex-girlfriend and previously close friend, is dealing with a flood of remorse, shame, and residual sentiments for the guy she once loved. Jason, Michael's uncle and stalwart guardian of the Corinthos family, is overwhelmed by a combination of grief and duty. While others publicly mourn, Jason uses his pain to seek answers, desperate to discover the truth about Michael's death. But as the days progress into weeks, Jason becomes further drawn into the lives of Willow and Sasha, both of whom are fighting to cope in their own way. Willow's grief and Jason's support. Willow, overcome by grief, becomes a shadow of her former self. She isolates herself, focusing all of her efforts on being a mother to Wiley while struggling to confront her own emotions. Jason intervenes, initially out of a sense of obligation to his family. He begins spending more time with Willow, assisting Wiley and providing calm, steady support. Willow finds safety in Jason. His calm temperament and ability to listen without judgment enable her to open up in a manner she hasn't been able to do with others. Late-night chats at the Corinthos house lead to long walks and shared times of silent introspection. Slowly but steadily, an emotional link develops between them, one that neither is fully prepared to admit. Sasha's struggle and new connections. Meanwhile, Sasha is facing her own issues. She's filled with remorse, blaming herself for how things ended with Michael and questioning whether she should have pushed harder for their relationship. At the same time, she feels compelled to be present for Willow and Wiley, to honor Michael's legacy by supporting the family he left behind. Sasha begins spending more time at the mansion, assisting Willow with Wiley and providing her own brand of caring, but raw, support. However, as she reconnects with Jason during these encounters, old sentiments that she thought were suppressed begin to reappear. Jason, who has always respected Sasha's grit and resilience, finds himself pulled to her once more. Their shared sadness sparks an unforeseen connection, affecting Jason's developing relationship with Willow. The love triangle takes shape. The relationship between Jason, Willow, and Sasha becomes more complex. Willow, who is still mourning Michael, realizes that her feelings for Jason are more than just appreciation. She's divided between her devotion to Michael's memory and her burgeoning feelings for the man who has been her rock in the aftermath of his death. Sasha, on the other hand, is filled with jealousy and sadness as she watches Jason and Willow becoming closer. She tells herself that her feelings for Jason are only a reflection of her sadness over Michael, but she knows it's more than that. Jason, ever the stoic guardian, tries to suppress his own emotions, knowing the consequences of acting on them. However, as the tension between the three of them rises, Jason is compelled to confront his feelings. His commitment to Michael and sense of responsibility to Willow mix with his undeniable attraction to Sasha, putting him in an impossible situation. Complicating factors. External forces further complicate the love triangle. Carly, Michael's mother, has strong beliefs about what's best for Willow and Wiley, and she's not afraid to speak them. Carly accepts Jason's presence in Willow's life, but she is dubious of Sasha's intentions, afraid she will break the family's delicate balance. At the same time, Nina Reeves, Sasha's former mentor and a character connected to Willow through their own complicated history, becomes interested in the scenario. Nina notices Sasha's distress and attempts to help her, but her intervention just fuels the fire. Michael's death is a mystery, which adds to the stress. Jason's investigation reveals alarming details that might change everything, including who may have been responsible and how it relates to the lives of individuals he is now involved with. The breaking point. The love triangle reaches a breaking point during an emotionally heated occasion. Perhaps it's a family reunion or a memorial ceremony for Michael, where emotions run strong and long-buried feelings emerge. Willow, overcome with loss and confusion, ultimately expresses to Jason that she feels more than friendship for him. Willow tears up as she says, "You've been there for me in unexpected ways, and I don't know what I'd do without you. But whenever I feel something, I feel as if I'm betraying Michael. And it is tearing me apart." Jason, battling with his own emotions, attempts to console her, but Sasha overhears their talk. Hurt and enraged, she confronts Jason, accusing him of leading them both astray. Sasha, angry. I thought you were different, Jason. I thought you understood what it meant to be loyal and respect Michael's wishes. But perhaps I was mistaken. Resolution and fallout. Following the confrontation, all three characters are forced to reflect on themselves and their relationships. Willow resolves to distance herself from Jason and Sasha in order to focus on her own rehabilitation and mothering responsibilities. Sasha, understanding that her affections for Jason may have been a means for her to avoid sadness, chooses to leave Port Charles for a while in search of clarity and purpose. Jason, ever the guardian, stays at the heart of the Corinthos family, but he resolves to put the family's stability ahead of his own. He continues to support Willow, but their relationship is characterized by friendship and mutual respect rather than romantic potential, at least for the time being. Future possibilities. The love triangle creates unanswered issues and tensions that may reappear in the future. Will Willow and Jason ever discuss their emotions for each other? Could Sasha return to Port Charles with renewed confidence and determination to win Jason's heart? And how will Michael's death continue to affect those he leaves behind? This plotline provides great emotional depth and opportunity for character development, laying the groundwork for future drama in the ever-changing world of General Hospital. Liz tried to calm things down, but Cyrus couldn't give her any information about where Lulu was. Lucky later got a piece of the Turning Woods camera video sent to his phone by email and watched it. After watching it together, Lucky and Liz were shocked to see that Lulu had woken up and left on her own. Brooklyn Quartermaine and Harrison Chase fell in love more than once at the Quartermaine farm as they tried to improve their chances of having a child. Brooklyn's look was unsettling, but Chase was excited about fatherhood and happy that they were experiencing this together for the first time. Then, on Wednesday's GH episode, Olivia Quartermaine talked about how great it would be for Lois to have her first baby. But Lois seemed to be keeping a secret, just like Brooklyn. When Alexis Davis finally stood up and tried to stop Rick Lansing from bothering Christina Corinthos Davis while she was testifying, the judge said she would be held in contempt of court. Even though Alexis resisted a bit more, Sonny Corinthos finally led her away. Molly Lansing Davis predicted to TJ Ashford during a recess that Christina would never be able to forgive herself if Ava Jerome's acquittal was due to her own evidence. Soon after, Molly told Christina that her sister could go home now, but Christina refused. Natalia Ramirez got back on the stand when Rick played her 911 call and asked her to confirm that she had been in an accident with Christina. But Natalia cooked up a tale about being distracted by her daughter's SMS and lied that she was to blame for the accident. As Rick questioned Natalia, she tried her best to hide yet another instance of Christina's unstable behavior. A furious Christina went to face Ava about the subpoena because she wanted to protect Sonny after Rick forced Molly to confess while she was on the witness stand. Ava admitted to grasping Christina's arm before she jerked away, fell over the bag, and fell out the window during her statement. In order to keep the FBI agent she was interacting with out of this, Ava also admitted that she had traded the bag for shoes. Nevertheless, Ava exaggerated how she had lost a daughter and would never want anyone to experience that pain. Ava seems truly saddened by the loss of Christina's unborn child after apologizing for the way the face-off had gone. In closing remarks, Rick maintained that this was a terrible accident, but the ADA pressed for Ava to be found guilty of manslaughter. Molly looked to have changed her mind after the incident and told TJ that she thought this was a tragedy. According to General Hospital spoilers, Molly will need to process everything that has happened, so tune in for more drama. Updates and spoilers for Monday, December 2's episode of General Hospital hint to tense arguments, family reunions, and anxious moms. TJ Ashford and Molly Lansing Davis are having a heated argument, Laura Collins is in a panic, and Lulu Spencer is having a great time at a family reunion. Spoilers for General Hospital, preemptions and encore episodes. On Thanksgiving Day, which is tomorrow, fans can see the July 29, 2024 rebroadcast of the show. But college sports will take over Friday's schedule. While Trina Robinson continues to deal with her own set of problems, James West Gary James Fuller starts to recognize the underlying familial conflicts in this encore episode. In the meantime, Dante Falconeri is faced with a moral conundrum, and Sasha Corbin tries to keep Cody Bell on track. In addition, Jason Morgan embarks on a new mission while Tracy Quartermaine gets an unexpected gift. GH spoilers, anxious moms. Laura is in a panic as she runs to Lucky Spencer, who is obviously playing the Turning Woods movie for her. She claims to Lucky that unless she was truly in danger, Lulu would never have tried to leave the facility. Cyrus Renaud confronted Lucky, but Cyrus denied knowing about Lulu's escape, which was the truth. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.